Hello, my peeps. Thanks for joining me on my channel, Steven Sturgill. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. We are live casting. Hope some of my regulars can join me tonight. If you can't, just catch the show later at your leisure. Yes, we're looking at Odin 03 Century. It's the third one in the Black Edition or Black Bottles collection lineup, of which there are 12. And unfortunately, I don't have number 12. Number 12, for some reason, just sold out really, really fast, and they apparently didn't make more. So as of right now, they're next to impossible to come by. And if you can source one, it's going to cost you at least half an arm. I'm just kidding, but it's going to cost you even more than the MSRP when it came out brand new, which was pretty high. These weren't cheap when they were new. Thankfully, many of them currently can be found on discounter websites for a lot less than they retailed for. But let's get into it. This is Odin 03 Century. As you know by now, I hope, this is the box or coffres that they come in. A little bit of embossing here. You can see how it shines in the light. Odin 03, that's their company's sort of like mascot. Is this, I don't know if that's a hawk or a crow or a raven, some kind of bird right there. You can feel free to research that more to your heart's content online. Head on over to Odin something.com. If you do a Google search, it'll pop up. Just look for Odin perfume and then follow the yellow brick road. So they come in 100 mils. Again, they pull out like so. It's got the cushion, whatever you call that. Not styrofoam, but whatever it is. Notes in here, we'll compare these to Fragranticus, our base notes. Silver birch, earthy cypress, forest mint, smoky vetiver, liquid myrrh, subtle patchouli, black musk, dry oak moss, and finally, true amber, not fake amber, true, real amber. I don't even know if that's true or not, but they're calling it true amber. Partly why I'm laughing, there is no such thing as true amber. Amber does not, it is a fantasy accord and does not actually exist in perfumery. So when I see things like true amber, it's just kind of hilarious. But whatever. This dropped, I want to say back in like 2011 or so, or 2012. Let's check. I don't want to make stuff up. Oh, even before that, it launched in 09. Wow. 2009. It's been a minute. Nose in this was Kevin Verspoor. I hope I'm not mincing that horribly. I think that's a Dutch name, if I'm not mistaken. Says here, it is a modern interpretation of the classic Chypre perfume group, complex in its structure, but simple in its character. It includes aromas of silver birch, cypress, wild mint, and various woody notes. Top notes: silver birch, cypress, forest mint. In the heart, smoky vetiver, liquid myrrh, and subtle patchouli. And finally, in the base, black musk, oak moss, and dry amber. Oh, not true amber, dry amber. Okay. Any differences between voters and what's on the official list? Only one I can see is that voters think that ambergris or ambergris is in it. I think that's the only difference. Now, I will say, guys, this is probably my least favorite from the entire line of Odins that I personally own, which I own 1 through 11. I do not own the 12th yet. I'll see if I can source it, but again, it's going to be very difficult indeed if I ever get my hands on that. But it's not terrible. It's wearable. It's vaguely interesting. The mint is pretty much present on the whole journey, except maybe the very, very deepest long dry down. It starts to kind of fade. and a sort of a floral, slight ambery, woodsy tonality sort of comes up the longer it goes into dry down mode. Patchouli, very weak, very, it's present but very muted, very soft to the point of almost being not present, but it is present, and you can vaguely account for it. The mint is quite prominent, although even then, it's not just like socking me in the face, right? It's there. The vetiver is disappointing. If it was juicier, more water, had more watery content, a more aquatic aspect. If it was lusher, more rounded, a little bit sweeter. But above all, my whole complaint protocol, if you will, about this perfume is that it just doesn't have any punch. It's like the guy was, someone's gonna wind you up back in those old movies, and in the comics from the cartoons, it's like someone doing this and then coming up real slow, going boop to your jaw, almost like a baby hit, and you'd be sitting there looking like, well, what was all this? If you're only gonna do this, at the last second, and then boop. I frankly don't get it. Don't get me wrong, it does have some longevity. You can smell it on skin for about, I'd say about maybe 5, maybe 6 hours if you're lucky. And past that, you might not. I probably won't or wouldn't. And as far as sillage and projection, it really, it doesn't have a whole lot of push to begin with. It's very moderate. You can definitely smell it. If you get about an inch off skin, you can start to detect it. Yeah, about an inch and a half. It's going to pretty much sit there for about 2.5 hours. And after that, it's really quickly going to morph into nothing more than a modest skin scent. I mean, if someone gets right up on you, yes, they'll smell it. If they're even a foot away and you're not sweaty, just absolutely sweating like a furnace boiler, and there's no wind blowing the aroma towards them, I can almost guarantee you 9 to 1 that they're not going to get anything from this scent. Just my opinion. You might do better. That's my personal, totally honest opinion. So all in all, guys, I really don't know who this was intended for. The vetiver is just so disappointing in this fragrance. The mint is lackluster. I'm not a huge mint fan to begin with, but even if I were, it's present, certainly. Nothing special. And this is really, really mostly, not entirely. It offers something interesting. I could see some people liking it. This is a mild soft like for me. It's not any kind of hate. I'm not throwing shade. It is what it is. Definitely never a love, nor a strong recommendation. Not even a soft recommendation. I really think they missed the ballpark on this one. They struck out 3 times, and guess what? They're back in the dugout. So sorry, Odin. I love you guys. Love the line. Love the company. This is not how you do a rich, smoky, vetiver-based, kind of a dark, interesting, woodsy, foresty type scent. This is just not cool. You had a lot of good ideas here, guys. A lot of pretty good ingredients for sure. I just don't like the execution. Should have been sweeter. The vetiver should have been much richer. Mint could have been a little greener, a little more silvery if you're going to go there. I'm not a huge mint guy. I thought it was missing some spice components, like maybe pink pepper, ambergris, a little light musk, and honeyed oud amber accord would have really, really pumped this into the 21st century. There's a lot of things that could have been thrown in here. So I'm going to end my little mini suggestion rant. It is what it is. If you just have to have it, It's out there fairly inexpensive for now. I think you can still source O3s for maybe around 40 to 50 bucks, give or take a 10 swat. Look around if you got to have it. I'm not mad at you, but this is definitely not a recommended buy. At all. I just can't too much recommend this, but it's kind of vaguely interesting. It might make some kind of interesting layer effect if you add it to something else. That's going to do it, guys. If you like, please subscribe. Click the bell for future updates. And pause for a drink. Senator, thanks for joining in on my live cast. I'm sorry, but I can't bail out like that. You're going to have to watch my vids when they drop one by one. Otherwise, I'd have the locals not tune in at all because they'd already get the drop. I'll just tell you this much. The majority of the line is really, really good. And having said that, there's a couple of duds or semi-duds in the lineup. And having said that, it's not like the whole line is just majestically awesome. There's some that I think are much, much better than others. I think some are quite good. I think a couple are pretty good to okay. I think a couple are passably good, bordering on mediocre. And this probably, like I said at the beginning of the show, for me, this is probably about the worst that they offer. Sadly, I wanted to love this thing, but just not going to happen. I mean, I love me some good vetiver. In fact, over the coming several months, as we get into fall, I'm probably going to be doing a month-long special on vetiver-based scents. At least that's a goal for now. We'll see how much I can put things in order to make that happen. So don't get it twisted. I love vetiver. This is just not a good rendition or a good take on vetiver, in my humble opinion. And it's not really a good take on most of the ingredients listed in there. It's an interesting take. It's not a very good one. It has some longevity, projection, sillage issues as well. And I don't really know who they're aiming at. I mean, it's unisex. What does that even mean anymore, guys? I would rather you tell me that this perfume is just madhouse feminine style scent, and we're going to market it to ladies, or just make this as raunchy, heavy, masculine as possible. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little mini rant right now. I'm personally so effing tired of unisex scents because, by and large, guys, let's stop acting like we're the same freaking sex. We're not. If you're a guy, you're a guy, okay? And I'm not trying to go ruffle feathers in the LGBTQI community, or if you think you're on the cusp of being asexual, or you're a woman trapped inside a man's body, or vice versa. I'm not here to judge anybody, and that's not my point. I'm saying biologically, and you can watch Joe Rogan. I love watching his channel a lot. It's kind of hilarious, but he's a smart guy for an MMA fighter. Seriously. Men are men, by and large, biologically, and we think like men and we act like men, by and large, biologically. Women, by and large, act and think like women. And there are certainly exceptions, and it's about maybe 1 to 2% of the genetic population. So I'm not here to base my life on 1 or 2 or 3% of the genetic population. I'm here to go by the broad bell curve of evolution and where we are. So what I'm saying in this, guys, and feel absolutely free to disagree, I would love to get back to that 70s, 1960s style where men are given man cologne that smells macho, musky, masculine, and it can be clean. It can be tidy and clean and officey. It can lean a little unisex. That's fine. But I'm just tired of this plethora of unisex scents. And I'll tell you, here's the number one reason why. In a nutshell, because, and granted, there's some women that get it. They like smoky, tobacco-based, amber, musky scents. And I am all for that because it's going to act differently in all of our skin. The pH is going to make it act differently. You know, women are going to smell differently wearing a man's scent. A man is going to smell quite a bit different wearing a woman's scent. That's just facts, right? But here's the deal. by and large, if I feel that I'm an attractive woman and I'm going out on a hot date or a ballroom event, and granted, we all have different tastes, but just as a general, as a very basic general attitude, if you will, I'm probably going to want something that's lighter, more ethereal, sweeter, floral, and it can have a little oud in it, and it can have some amber and some tobacco. But overall, it's going to be heavily skewed towards a prototypical woman's taste. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what is so effing wrong with that. Nothing. The same way that if a man wants to wear a deep, brooding, woodsy, musky, smoky, dark tone and call it a macho scent, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I really wish that perfume houses, if you're watching this show, you need to get back to the basics, guys. You need to get back to giving men man scents and giving women scents. And again, I'm all for unisex scents. I'm all for it. But it needs to be a much smaller sort of, almost a niche category that kind of joins, makes a bridge, if you will, between the two sexes. That's all I'm saying. Feel free to disagree. Yeah, Centaur Fragrance, guys, if you're not chiming in or typing, is agreeing, or at least for now, and saying, yeah, she'd like to, or is that, I'm sorry, is that a he or she? I can't, I think it's a he, my bad. I don't have such good vision. I'm trying to look at the pic. It's really tiny on my monitor. Apologize, Centaur. Yeah, I get it. My bad, guy. These are only for seeing far, FYI, so. But anyways, Centaur is agreeing that he does wish that fragrances lean to one side than the other. Sure, a musk or soft scent can be unisex, but I too, now I'm just reading it. This is him talking. I too would like more fragrances, one or the other. Today, masculine or strong men's scents are probably seen as toxic. That's hilarious. I don't know. I'm not so sure they're seen as toxic anymore. I mean, there's been some fairly macho scents that have come out recently, but part of the issue is that they're mainly now only coming out of niche or indie houses by and large. And I do think that too many of the perfume houses have jumped on that unisex choo-choo train, and they're just clinging to dear life to the unisex choo-choo train. Oh my God, can't be masculine, can't be feminine. It's unisex, And I honestly think, guys, come on, let's get real here for a hot minute. Let's get real and stay real. Enough is enough is enough. Now, I'm not mad at you if you want to go in a closet and change into some hot Victoria's Secret silky red panties and you're a guy, or put on a hot silky bra or a negligee or 90. You do you, I'll do me. And I am not here to judge, right? But by and large, most men, me included, are never going to do that. We have zero interest. Like the thought doesn't even cross our mind. Okay, when we go into a clothing store, we're looking to buy, some kind of whitey tidies or boxers or whatever, right? You get the gist. It's time to get back to men being men and women being women. And again, if you find yourself on the cusp, I am not mad at all. I'm not mad at you. Bravo. Thank you for claiming your sexuality and stepping out boldly to grab whatever side of the aisle that you feel comfortable on.